Hello, guys. Welcome once again to another chat on Real Housewives of Atlanta. And today we're going to be talking about the reunion part one. Thank you guys for joining us. We have a lot of people. We have Top Lisana in the house. We have reviews and recaps, and we have Shop Reality TV. We have Living for Your Girls. Make sure you give us a subscribe on our YouTube channels, like and comment on our videos. So today's the pastoral reunion. What was your general thoughts of it? Because I was disappointed, really, for me.
Well, me, it was kind of exciting. I mean, I loved Andy at the beginning with his little woosah moment because I knew he was going to need it with these ladies. But it was kind of exciting. You know what I'm saying? We're getting to the nitty gritty of some stuff.
Wow, I definitely did not feel like that at all. I was just like, it felt like a poor job of copy and paste and cut and edit. It just felt like they were trying to fit it into, I think, a two-part that they cut out a lot of things and it just wasn't seeming like it was flowing, in my opinion. A lot of things just did not add up for me. So yeah, I was just like, ugh, another boring episode. Another boring reunion. Personally, that's what I felt.
Yeah. I also thought the same thing. Like I didn't catch it live, so I had to like watch stop because some parts I had to even go back sometimes because I was even losing track of the conversation. So it was like so you need to fire the production. That's what I started to say.
Okay. Firstly, let's talk about you know, these ladies. Firstly, their outfits. I know we've seen their dressings from before, but I want to say, who was your best dressed? Who was your worst dressed?
All of them were poorly dressed. Kandi looked
Yep.
like she was mind my language,
Yeah.
like a
Booker.
book. Oh God, she looked like a hooker, like someone who just came to sell her market. The whole clothes made her look disproportionate. She looked horrible. Sitting down, the dress actually looked like maybe not bad, but when she stands up, it just oh,
And
all
that
their boobs
bob
were very
not work.
distracting. Like I could not see anything apart from their breasts. Like I understand you guys have some assets, but really I don't need to see your boobs every single second. It was very distracting. Kenya looked like a peacock. Marlo looked like she was in a house just chilling because this is a very regular
With a
outfit that she
blanket
had
on.
on. Telling you,
Well,
for Shereé, like I don't understand. Someone
She
who
really
has
looked
a
like she was
fashion
doing
line
Shein.
dressing like she was going to church. I was so disappointed. God.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Like, I was not here for the feathers at all. I was not here for freaking Sheree's Shein looking outfit. I was not here for Milo's blanket. Like, like, it was just giving me blanket. Like, I did not understand. And for the person who talks about everyone is copying her and all that kind of stuff, like, girl, give them something good to copy. Because what the hell is that? Like, that's not cute. Sanya looked okay. Of course, it was a very simple dress or whatnot, but like I said, none of them was really given, if I'm being completely honest. It was just given, yeah. But I really did not like Candy's outfit. I really did not like her hair. I feel like she's always so underdressed every single time. Like, can you be appropriate? Like, do you have a stylist? If not, you need to get one ASAP, in my opinion.
Her and Courtney, they looked terrible. Courtney looked
Yeah.
overdressed. It was just like the designer was, oh, where am I going to add this so that she looks like too much? No, let's not talk about the outfits. It was horrendous.
I love the colors. That's all I could say. I mean, none of the dresses would have been my style. I didn't like Candy's dress. Uh, Too much feathers and underboob for uh Kenya. Yeah, and I really didn't like Drew's dress, it was just too much material. I would have been itchy and hot. And um Shereé didn't really look like she was going anywhere. That kind of looks like a nightgown that you would wear to sleep, if you're trying to be with your dude. And yeah, too much material. Marlo, and Sanya, she kind of looked like my grandbaby's mermaid dress.
Mm,
You
yeah.
know. But I like the colors. They were kind of
Uh,
soothing.
okay. Okay, now we've discussed about their dress. I think this look that Drew was giving in the episode was everything. Like I didn't understand the look. Was it meant to be a look of wow, what's wrong with you? I'm pissed off. Her facial expressions, especially when um she by Shereé. So I always call her she by Shereé. Shereé was talking about herself. She was like, I didn't understand the look that she
Do
was
you
giving
know
them.
what?
Like, can they talk about themselves?
I feel like this is another thing with the edits. I feel like they were just using wherever they felt like someone was very expressive, they will cut it and use it almost like this is where this person, that's their reaction to that. But it did make sense. I personally just think it's like edited, if I'm being honest, because I just did not get it.
Mm-hmm. Because she kept
Okay,
making the same face every
I
single
know.
time.
Exactly. So it's just I feel like they just kept thinking no one is really giving honestly, a lot of them looked bored. And if they looked bored, how do they think we feel?
oh, she said they looked bored. That's the worst thing to say that they looked bored, actually.
Yeah, like
but
Kenya
yeah,
couldn't even give much. Like
Kenya
I
kept
I,
felt
lying. Like the lies were not adding up.
and
They
the thing
kept
is
catching
everyone be
her in her
calling Drew a
lies,
liar.
and then she would go back. It was just like, God, girl, shut up. How many lies did she tell in this episode? And for someone that keeps saying Drew lies, her lies
Yep.
were not even matching.
And that's the thing. I'm like, everyone keeps saying Drew lies, but all of them are liars at this point. Like seriously, how can you sit in my face and tell me that you get comments or you get DMs when someone is on your live? Like what the hell?
oh my
Like
god.
if you're gonna lie, at
Yeah.
least
You know
verify that.
what? In that part, I will support her because I think what she meant was mentioning or commenting someone in your Instagram story. I just think in the heat of the moment, she did not like explain better because when it was shown to us, it was obvious that they were referring to him responding to an Instagram story sort of thing. But because her lies were not put together, it was just like a jumbled mess and it just turned out so tacky. Because I could do a better job lying. The things that she was caught in her, like the way she was caught in her lies, they
Too
were just like
embarrassing.
very, very simple, like conversations that nobody should actually catch you in those simple lies. So I was like, girl, get yourself together. You should not be like I don't want to, I'm just tired.
You've been on the show too long to not know that you will get called out about these things. So if you're going to lie, at least like cover your bases. Seriously. But yeah, I thought the whole thing wasn't really giving much, if I'm being completely honest. I was just like, yeah. And also, who else felt like Shereé was working overtime to keep her peach? And it wasn't hitting for me. Good evening, CC.
Yeah, I felt Sheree was working overtime. I didn't understand the she news. You know, I was like these ladies and these props. I'm saying, but I did find out what the little article said. I don't know if you guys read it. Did anybody read about Candy's restaurant is maybe gonna get closed down because of she didn't pass her health code inspections?
Yeah, but as far as I know, that was like old news, which was
Yeah,
rectified.
right. I don't. Hey, everyone. I don't believe that stuff. Like Shereé, that's probably old news she put in there. Just like the shoot, like she brought up shootings and all that stuff. She did a lot of conflating.
Mm.
You can't believe what she says.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it, but I didn't want to put in my email address. Don't you have to put in your email address to download it?
To download the She by Shein? Oh,
To get the
seriously.
newsletter, I think you have to put in your email address.
I think I seen it on Andy's page.
Mm-mm. Also, who else thinks like Andy loves Sheree? Because I
He
personally did not
does.
think
Yes,
the
I
whole thing
agree.
was
He
hitting
was
the way
giving
he
her
was
too
hyping
much
her.
allowances.
I know. I'm like, the way you're hyping this woman, like, I don't know, you've definitely drank the Kool-Aid. Because I don't really understand, like, why you're hyping this woman who has brought nothing to the show this season.
Exactly. I really didn't understand. I don't know. My network went off and we're talking about Kenya's um life. And I wanted to talk
Mm,
more about the Kenya and Malu situation
right.
where she, brought out the court document. What Before I give my own opinion, what did you guys feel about it?
That was so dumb.
Someone is about to lose their job. That's what I think. Because I'm sorry. Who did that printout? I did not print the right subpoena. I'm
But,
sorry. About to
but
lose.
there is a real court document. I did see it on Instagram.
I'm sure there is, but
Yeah,
someone
there is.
didn't
But
print
that was.
it.
Yeah,
Hmm.
but a court document has to be filed, filled out, and filed and served.
Yeah, there is a real one. I think she has already been served with it. But I mean, whoever gave her that blank piece of paper, or Kenya may have even have known. You never know with Kenya. She may even have known. But I wouldn't have even brought that out there unless it was totally legit. Because she
Y-
knows how those ladies are.
Right.
Yeah, and somebody said
And
it's
also,
not
she knows
actual
how
court
Andy
document.
is. Andy's gonna read it. So it's very, yeah. I honestly think someone was meant to print it out. They gave it to her. She didn't bother looking at it, and she sat and kept it. That's what happened.
Well, it couldn't have
Someone
been
said
no attorney's office. Maybe it was what do you call those? The
Paralegal?
yeah, paralegal. Maybe it was a paralegal. They just
Yeah.
handed her the paper, or it might even been the file clerk. Hey, this is what you need to fill out.
Mm.
somebody said it's not actually a court document. It's just like a summons to appear for a deposition,
Yeah,
like with an arbitrator or something like that.
she has to go to Kenya's attorney's office for a deposition.
Oh wow.
Right. So it's not necessarily a court document.
Well,
Oh,
it's still a court document.
right.
It's a legal document.
It is still a legal. It is still a legal document, but it's just
Right,
not.
but not
She doesn't have
nothing
to
filed
appear
with the
at a courthouse. At a courthouse, but she does have to appear at the attorney's office.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I felt like it was shabby of her to like present it without looking. Like that
Hmm.
was so unnecessary. Like if I wanted to, with those kind of
You
classy
gotta check
ladies that
five
would
times.
nitpick at everything you do,
What if
I
it's on
would have
purpose?
looked at it,
You should have
confirmed.
What
checked
if it
like
was on
5 times.
purpose?
Is it to make herself
No,
look
I love
dumb?
this because even when Andy was reading at it and was like he too was confused and it was like I don't think she was like yeah that is just she herself started chewing her mouth and was confused herself.
Mm.
And I
That's
felt
because
like for me at that moment watching it, I was like, was she doing it for a storyline so that they can bring her back for season 16?
But you
man,
see,
I will take her over Kandi.
Marlo changed up though and said, "Oh yeah, she would be there with her lawyer or whatever it was." She said,
Yeah, I would change her because okay, she was accusing her. She said that during her discovery, she found out that there was a phone record, there was a phone call between Marlo and Mark 2 years ago. And from nowhere, she said she only saw. Then from nowhere, she was like, "Oh, did you call Mark to get debt on me?" He was like, "Did you see the text message?" She said, "No." Then how did you know that it was a call for get or a message for getting debt on you? That didn't make sense from nowhere. Like she was, for me, I felt like she was just too. She just wanted to hit at Marlo without getting the punchline.
Right, I agree. She needed to have something because what else did she have this season? She had nothing else this season. So she was trying to stir up something with Marlo. Oh, you've been contacting Mark. How would Marlo get Mark's phone number?
Oh, it's easy to get somebody's phone number. Especially down there with them. Marlo could easily get it from somewhere.
And also, I don't buy that she would lie about that, if I'm being completely honest. And also, if you notice, Marlo said she doesn't recall. I'm sorry, if someone asked me whether or not I contacted their husband ever, I will know. It's a no.
True that.
It would never be I don't recall. It would be no, never. But for her to say she doesn't recall, something ain't right.
Mm-hmm.
And why is she always contacting someone's spouse?
Exactly. That's
That's Marlo.
they need to watch Marlo because I don't understand. It's the same way she was like,
Or
"Oh,
they need
without
to watch their
contacting me."
spouses.
Well, yes, but
They
also
need to watch their
Marlo.
spouses, not
If that's
Lamalu.
my friend or if that's my co-worker,
No, they need
and
to
you're
watch both
yep, I agree.
because
They need to
if
watch Marlo and they need to watch their spouse.
yeah,
Or how about just get rid of the spouses? If you gotta watch them like that, you don't need them.
but Marlo will still keep contacting whichever partner you have. So she's not trustworthy.
And for Kenya, what even put me off was like Kenya said Mark told her that Marlo contacted him. I felt like, would Mark really tell her that?
I
Probably.
feel like he
Well,
could
right?
because
Right?
yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I said I think he would tell Kenya. I think he would.
Yeah. I feel like even if it's to shade her and say that's how your castmate reached out to me asking for information about you, I could have said stuff, but I didn't. It
Mm-hmm.
could even be in that way, right?
What if he was lying? What if he wanted to, like, they're going through a messy divorce. So what if he just said that to piss her off by saying that one of her the slight castmates called her to get debt on her? What if he just lied to her? Because I won't put that off that kind of situation. They're not like in a loving relationship where we open up everything about ourselves.
Yeah, but then if
I don't
your
think
number
so.
is coming up on the phone record, then it's like, well, why did you call him? So I'm
And the
inclined to
time
believe that is true because if her number is coming up on the phone records and she didn't tell me by herself, I'm believing whatever the other person told me.
yeah.
What? 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 Well, what are we saying? Because, well, I don't know what to say because I feel like probably for me, I just feel like maybe it's a storyline because the way that she was like, okay, I'm gonna be there. Like they wanted to create a storyline for, okay, let's anticipate the court case for next season. Let's see whether really Marlo did call her husband or whether Marlo did, because then in the court case it will be exposed whether Marlo did call him for an expose on Kenya on anything. I feel like it's just for and putting anticipation on we the viewers because we've already lost a lot of hope on this
I'm sorry.
this
How is that
particularly
with
housewife.
how is that a storyline? That
Because
doesn't make
Kenya
any
had no
sense.
other storyline. That piqued
But
my interest.
this Ida is not a storyline. This is just like it's irrelevant.
Yeah, like
We
it's a
already
side
had the
point.
storyline of her calling someone's spouse this season. Please just dead it. Just like you talking about her kissing the girl. Please, we're tired. Dead it. Like we
Mm.
don't want to hear it. We don't care. Move on. So this should not be a storyline. I even felt that it was piece poor. It was too obvious that they were looking for something to ask Kenya at that point. And she was like, if you guys don't have any storyline for me, I'm going to create one for myself. And even though it doesn't make any sense, it's going to be something that I would say. Because it just did not make any sense to me. So they should not use that as a storyline. They can talk about her and Max law case, whatever they want to do next season, if she makes it. But this whole Marlo called my husband, blah, blah, blah. I'm sorry, like, please don't. I'm not in the mood.
It's more interesting to me than Brooklyn, she and Brooklyn going to Paris. I think I'd be more interested in, whether Marlo called Mark or not. This Brooklyn going to Paris pilot, I wouldn't be interested in that.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was a pilot coming out.
Okay, the this thing about when she knocked at the door.
Hmm.
I feel at the end of the day, I just feel like everything is storyline to me. And Mark is just being a annoying spouse, ex-spouse, and picking on every minute thing to just harm or pick at Kenya. That's just what I feel like.
A
I
hundred
agree.
percent, right? Like, to be fair, as someone who used to do divorces for people, a lot of people just come up and say all sorts of things and do all sorts of things. It's like anything can and will be used, right? So,
Hmm.
for
Mm-hmm.
instance, having that clip on the TV is like you're literally saying that your child is potentially in harm's way, right? That is
Mm-hmm.
actually good evidence. That's really a strong case, right?
Yeah,
So
a very
you're not
strong
going to
one.
exactly. So you're not going to hide that and be like, okay, I'm not going to bring that, especially if you're not, you're already in court about said issues. You're going to bring that as part of your evidence. And so I think that's exactly what he's doing. I might not like it, but that's just, unfortunately,
You have to risk.
played out on TV. If anything, I think they should have probably edited it in a way that did not come out in that way, but then I guess they really needed something to
Yeah,
happen,
they needed storylines.
so they had to keep it in there.
They really needed storylines a lot. And so, I, you know what? I don't know. This issue between Candy and Shereé. Oh my Jesus Christ. I was like, it was too
Shereé
much
ate
noise.
Candy up. I
It
don't
was
care what
too
anybody
much
wants to
noise.
say. Candy was just shouting like a shrill. Shereé ate her up. Period.
I don't
I don't
even
care
know
what
you
anybody
No,
wants to say.
no, no, no. Sheree did not eat her up.
Please, what did Candy say? She had
He put a
nothing to,
shot in
like, I
your
guess
face.
it's the normal, oh, you don't sell, you don't have a design, you've not paid a design man.
Because
It's
we
dead
know
and
the truth.
buried. We've heard
She
it a
has no
hundred
design.
times.
She has
I'm
no
sorry, she ate.
design. She's gotten plastic
That's
surgery
something
constantly. We saw
we've
her
heard it a
swollen
million
face.
times.
We saw the video with her swollen face. She has a man that is he's not even a half a man. We know
Oh,
her and Martell that was not even working because we saw the crust on the other
You just
show. She
have to
had
use the
another woman
Mattel
in a
shoe.
hotel room.
But she's not the one who talked about Mattel. We cannot use someone else's insult, like it was Kenya that spoke about the Mattel stuff.
But,
But
but
when they had
even
a back and forth,
with
Shereé ate Candy up.
Shereé did not eat her
Period.
out because
When
Shereé
she
has
was
had
speaking,
more
you can
Shereé has
obviously
had
see that
more
Candy
plastic
had some,
surgery than
like,
everybody up there. We saw it in 4K TV, the
I
swollen
didn't see it
face.
in
She
4K.
looked like she was beat up. That's how she looked in that thing. Like she was did a few rounds with Muhammad Ali. That's how she looked.
No, I think the surgery has, like, maybe it has set
Yeah, yeah,
in
he has
because she's
gone
not
back
looking
to
as
normal.
worse as before.
Yeah, her face
But
finally settled in. And then when
yeah.
she said to Drew about that was her worst picture, Sheree, come
I was
on.
like, girl, you
Sheree,
wish
No,
you
don't
that
do
that
looked.
part
that.
I was like,
I
oh,
was like, girl, you wish you
No,
looked like
that
Drew.
was bad.
Sorry,
Come
Drew
on.
is a pretty, gorgeous woman. So no.
Drew is
yes.
Yes, Drew is
So,
pretty.
But
She
I do
needs a new
understand,
stylist.
to be
She needs a new
honest.
stylist, but she's pretty. And
I
Sheree,
have
you're in your 50s. This girl is still in her 30s. So Sheree can miss me on all of that. She needs to
Mm.
stop.
Oh, you're supposed to like we're all supposed to understand that that would sort of be an insult because how will you say my worst looking picture with a horrible like surgical procedures, whatever she did on her face, and then you're like, oh, she looks like someone really pretty. I would find it very offensive because why would you want to compare me to this ugly lady? Just like
Yeah, but the picture that she was talking about, no, it was a different picture. It wasn't like the swollen
yeah, the
face.
one that she
Yeah.
had, it was the interview with
No, no, no. It was
No.
it was one. It was a nude outfit,
Hmm.
and she looked really good in that
oh,
outfit.
that one.
She
Yeah,
looked
she
more
did. She
like
looked
Drew,
good in
to
that
be
picture.
completely honest. She looks more like Drew than Drew looks like Drew. Like I was like, girl, I don't know what's going on, but you look like Drew. But anyways, yeah. I think it was a reach, honey. Drew is a very beautiful. Like, say what you want about that woman, but that face
Yeah, but she's
hardly
really
ever
pretty.
lines, honey. You wish you looked like that. So yeah, that's what I would say.
But the quarrels between Candy and Shiba Sheree, I still don't understand. It's just a beef of there was nothing on your store, your company. And did you
Oh
see the
That's
that
why I
she
keep
news? Like
saying
I was like,
old
what was the essence
arguments.
of that she news?
yeah, I think Shereé
Well, she's looking for highlights.
time. She
Hmm.
is trying to keep that job. She has no other jobs, in my opinion, allegedly. So she needs this one job that's going to pay for she by whatever her chateau, yes, Chateau Shereé or whatever it is called. I feel like that's what it is. She needs to pay the bills, and like Andy said, she has an interesting perspective when it comes to bills or relationship with bills. So she needs to keep the job, but yeah, no. I think for me, the arguments between or the back and forth between Candy and Shereé, I personally think no one ate. I think it just wasn't hitting it for me. And the part that even got me the most was when Candy was practically stuttering about shocked, not shocked. I'm like, sis, just the read is not landing. Like, just let it go. Just forget about it and
Yes,
say what I
she even knew that Sheree beat her in this part because she was like when Sheree brought out the bag where she wanted to give to Drew, she was
mm.
like, who is the person that is helping you with your reads this period?
Yeah, I saw that. Who's helping you with your reads this season? I'm like, okay, so
Because she knows Sheree came with a game. Sheree was there to
Sheree,
win.
Sheree was like, I'm getting this, I'm getting to sit right next to Andy. I'm gonna make it count. And
Make
that's
what
Exactly.
count. Nothing counted, please. I don't know about you guys. Because when Kenya mentioned the whole Mattel revenge tape
exactly.
thing,
Hmm.
the way she just swept it under the rug, I was like, damn,
Yeah,
wow. Is this what we're doing
That was
today?
really disgusting
And she's
for
very.
like,
me.
well, we meet together, we're still friends, but this.
You're
I
friends
know
with
we talk about him
somebody.
practically stalking his ex-wife, his behaviors. I understand that everybody needs to like have some sort of storyline, even though you have to fake a relationship with some loser. But the fact that you're going to sweep under his terrible behavior, knowing that this can actually happen to you, what your family members, but you're going to sweep it under the rug because you want to keep your pitch, because you want to keep a fake relationship for TV. How much
Mm-mm.
of a loser are you?
And I'm like, even if you want to be in a fake relationship, is there someone who in their right mind would choose someone like Mattel? I'm sorry, like who would choose someone like this man? And the thing is, instead of come out straight as soon as you heard about the revenge piece and just drop him, you're still sitting there saying you don't know the truth. Honey, if you really wanted to search the truth, you will know the
You will
truth.
find it.
And I
Yeah.
appreciated how Kenya did not remove her foot off her neck about that revenge piece
Mhm.
situation. And I'm like,
I appreciated Kenya for that.
I appreciated it because I'm like, Carlos King is not going to speak on it. And I
Hmm.
need to
Of
come
course.
on a national platform that this is who Mattel Holt is. So I'm glad Bravo did not edit that bit out.
Because it's
I
definitely
was
not
literally
making it into
surprised.
LAMH.
Say that again,
It
huh?
wouldn't.
I said he's definitely not making it onto early image.
Of course.
It
Carlos,
it wouldn't.
yeah, never.
Carlos would be dying wherever he is that it came out first on Bravo and Andy allowed it to be discussed about on the show. As in, it literally pissed me off when she was like, you know what, I am not gonna judge. Even when Kanye was like, see the revenge piece stuff, he was trying to bring that about his ex, and she was like, yeah, but we're still friends. I just had to stay away from him because of a lot of whispers. What whispers did you hear, for God's sake?
Mm.
No, tell us the
Mm.
whispers you heard that made you distance yourself. You heard whispers about him, you heard a lot of things about him, but you're still coming here seated and telling me that, oh, but we're still friends, we meet up sometimes, we're still cordial. I'm like, please, dead me with that. Just take a seat further back.
Yep, and I wish Andy had pressed a little bit more on getting some more information on that. Because I would have, if I
But
was Andy, I would
But
be like,
Andy would
Sheree
not,
wouldn't have said it.
because he's giving free airtime to own TV and he didn't pay me. So why should I discuss that? So
yep,
I
yep.
totally understood his part. He did not want
But
to
he would have
give
gotten
our
it
LMH
people
free airtime.
100%.
But
I agree.
definitely it would have gotten people talking, but I don't know why they didn't talk about that.
Exactly. And
I feel like maybe it's the beef between him and Carlos is just too strong.
it runs deep.
It runs very deep. So I just feel like he just like, you know what? I'm not gonna give your show a free airtime. Because
Yeah.
normally with this kind of thing that is happening between Shereé and Mattel, when they supposed to invite Mattel for the reunion to speak for
So he will
himself.
come and embarrass her. Because when he's
Mm-hmm.
there, if I was there in his presence, I will ask you, why did you try to release a revenge tape on your ex?
Yep.
100%.
And Mattel in his wonderful self would deny it.
Of course.
I mean, they didn't deny
But
it in the interview. So why should
But
he
the fact is
deny it
that
on
I feel
TV?
like they're
We'll
in a
start talking in
contract kind of
circles.
stuff, because for her to keep on defending Mattel, I feel like there's this contract. Because if you listen to Mattel's, when Mattel is on interviews or anything talking about Shereé, the way he praises her, talking how good she is, how this was this, I feel like they had this contract
It's an
like, you're not
arrangement.
gonna say bad about me, I'm not gonna say bad about you, no matter what.
Yeah,
Right.
you're going to make me look good. I'm going to make you look good. And let's be honest, Sheree might be dumb about choosing these men, but she's not completely dumb in the sense that I feel like she knows that if she says one bad thing about Mattel, he's vengeful. He's going to come after her and ruin her storyline. He has
Mm-hmm.
nothing to lose. Carlos is his BFF, in my
Yeah.
opinion, right? So he has nothing to lose. She's the one that is going to lose the platform that she already has. Because if it comes out that she's been lying about all of this and Mattel says a bunch of stuff, Andy might just be like, I don't want this nonsense on my show.
Yeah.
I mean, it's obvious that it's the ruse. So I don't know why everybody's pretending like they can't see it.
I know, but people don't want it to be painfully like they don't want it to be called out by Sheree or Mattel. Because
Shop,
of
shop.
course, sorry,
You can
go
go
ahead.
on.
Because at least, right, it's a ruse. We all know it's a ruse, but then we have no proof. All we have is a conclusion based on all the things that we have seen, but we don't have any concrete, like, we can't show you the contracts between them.
Evidence.
We can't show you
Yeah.
any concrete evidence. So until one of them comes out and says that it's nonsense, then we don't really have much of a leg to stand on.
Yeah. Which I don't think is going to ever happen.
Exactly. And that's why she keeps talking good about him because she knows if she, the first time she says some nonsense, Mattel is coming after her.
She knows that. and,
Exactly.
and
She's not completely dumb.
and when Mattel bleeds, he bleeds
Mhm.
so well. Like he
Yep.
doesn't care who goes down with him.
Unhinged.
Yeah. So she's mindful of like, I'm not gonna be the one to wake up that monster in him. Like, I'm not gonna be that.
Yep. So she's playing coy, she's playing nice, and that's exactly what she'll keep doing when it comes to Mattel.
But for how
Mm.
long?
Until, because to be honest, the storyline is dead now. It's never going to be resurrected. So
Says
she knows
who? I
that.
mean, she had an interview like last month. This reunion was also, it was after the reunion where she said that, oh, they are cordial, they are still friends, they're still working on their relationship. If she by chance comes next season, she's still going to play the Mattel is my boyfriend. And Mattel will keep keeping his side chick or mistress in the back so that he can make whatever. You know, they're paying him $10,000 for marriage rate. That, you know, we obviously know that it's Shereé that we're paying him to appear on marriage rate. He's willing to do all that. Like, Mattel is fame hungry. For someone who said, "Oh, I don't want to do reality TV. I didn't want to do reality TV," he seems to be quite hungry to be on TV.
Mm, 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 mm.
It's not that he's hungry, he's broke. And he needs he needs everything to use to make money. He needs everything to make that money. So that's just it. It's not that he needs money at the end of the
Then he
day.
can actually invest money in his suit line, promote his wine. He has so many things to do,
He's
but
lazy.
he
Not
realized
gonna
that reality TV is better. So he's actually fame hungry, but he's famous, but he's not using it well. As much as do not like most of the cast on LAMH, most of them are actually applying their fame to their businesses. Mattel would just post one flyer about his suit, and that's all. He expects ghosts, or I don't know, maybe Jesus Christ to fall from heaven and be like, oh, come and buy Mattel's suit, come and do this, come and. I haven't heard anything about his suit line. And all of a sudden, he posted a flyer saying that he's going to appear in some events with his suit line. And I'm like, what's going on? So it's
With
like,
Ines Twine, holding Ines
and I'm
Twine.
like, I'm not understanding what you're doing.
I think the problem is, one, he needs to realize it's okay to not be good at certain things, right? But that's why you pay someone to step into that role and do what it is you're not great at, okay? And I feel like social media is not his thing. Accept it and know peace. Find someone. You can get someone, pay them some money and get them to
Yeah.
start to focus on that, right?
It's
So
not
you
every
can take out,
celebrity that is a social media guru.
of course, and that's okay, right? Get somebody else to do it.
Uh-huh.
But Mandem does not want to pay nobody, does not want to
It
do anything,
doesn't.
expects the world to just accept it and buy it because it's Mattel Holt. No one cares about you like that.
It's no one cares about you like that. Now that we're in the topic of boyfriends and everything, did you that statement that Drew that Kenya said about Marlo and the fact that all the men she has been with always end up with money on her dresser? I felt like that was very low.
Ugh. Mm.
That was
I'm
true.
sorry, they've all gone low in this show. I really don't care.
I'll be honest.
That
It's
that
not
comment
to
wasn't
me.
right.
To me, I feel like it's not really that low considering we don't know what Malo does.
That
In
was
my
true.
opinion.
It was so low.
Well,
Because she's
that's
not
what
the
makes
first
it
person that
low. If
said
we
it.
don't know what she does, that was uncalled for. And I think Kenya may be a bit jealous of Marlo.
Kenya is
Yeah,
not
like,
Joe Petro.
well, jealous in regards to she says she doesn't know where Marlo's getting her money from. So, like,
Yeah, but Malo has
why do you
never really told us where she's getting her money from, though. Like with
say
others,
that
we
again?
sort of know. I'm like, I don't think Malo has ever addressed where she's getting her money from. Low Archive is quite new, right? But like all of the money that she was always talking about from all the earlier seasons, right? She's never really remember when she said the LLC thing and people were Googling it and it didn't exist. So she's never really told or shared anything that she's done to make the money. So there is always going to be speculation around that. I don't think it is that low is as a I personally think Marlo has gone way lower than that when it comes to all of the reads and the way she's interacted with the girls. Now, I don't really care for Kenya or any of them, if I'm being completely honest, but I just think it's not that deep.
But what pissed me off is that, and I loved Andy called Kenya out. Kenya is busy hinting at somebody else's man not being original, not being real. Yours was never real, And the
Right.
excuse, oh my god, that useless excuse she gave,
It was
that the
given
reason
like,
why Ray was not on the season was because he heard what Marlo said. And I love that Andy was like, but we finished shooting. Like, how did he know we finished shooting? And she was confused on the lies to tell.
yeah, she should have just let it go then and just
They
like
go,
just
she
be
was
like,
trying to
okay,
make
no, no, you're
excuse.
right. You're right. I guess he was busy. Like, because at that point it was painfully obvious that
This is people
you're lying.
yeah.
Just let it go. Like, it's not all battles you can fight. Just let this one go. Pick and choose, I think. But yeah. Mm-mm.
I didn't understand why she was coming. I feel like maybe she was jealous that even if, let's say, Marlo's relationship was fake, but the guy was in attendance, he was in where they needed their spouse to be. When they said you come with your partner, he was there. Why hers was just, and you just part that they used, they kind of jabbed her a little bit and said the only time they saw the guy was when she was promoting his business.
Oh.
Right.
Mm.
Did you hear
I
that
mean,
part? I thought I was the only one that heard it.
And there were no
all of them were
sparks.
actually promoting their businesses. Scott Lee came to promote his business.
Yep. I'm like, at
Rob
least
could
he
But
not be
got.
he
bothered
was
to
also in the
pretend.
episode to promote Marlo.
Rob could not, like, his name is Rob, right?
Mm-hmm.
He could not be bothered to pretend. Scott Lee was like, I'm going there and I'm in on it. Like, I don't care what I have to do. If I have to pretend to be in love with you, I'll do it.
Did
But
you
Rob
say
is like,
Uber Eats?
Also, did you
is it
notice when?
is it Rob or Ron?
Did you guys notice
Ray,
who,
Roy.
Roy? Yeah. Did you guys notice when Andy asked if Marlo and Scott Lee had done the do? I'm like, first of all, I don't understand why that's even a question. And two,
like
it was
that felt off to me.
yes, and also
When he
it's a
even talked about the under boots.
yeah, and also it was a direct
I feel
question.
like I feel
And the
like
thing,
he feels that he has the right to ask that question because he's gay.
hmm yeah, I don't know. I didn't. Yeah, that question was just so uncomfortable for me.
And like the part that was more uncomfortable was for me was when he said, "I'm just looking at your under boobs all through the night. I can't." I'm like,
I was
oh,
like, okay, I know. I was just like, that would make me uncomfortable. But
Yeah,
I'm like,
definitely.
oh no.
mm,
If it was a straight guy that said that now, we'll be dragging him right now. We will be saying
Pitchforks
I was
and all.
really off.
100%,
But
definitely.
I don't know. I guess maybe they have this. I don't want to judge them. They have these connections as their host, and for so many years. So probably you know
I'm
they are
like
free around him.
that's not an excuse.
Yeah, that wasn't really appropriate. I didn't like that comment.
Yeah, it was just too much.
And someone was like, with the amount of lies, I went to the comment section after the show. Someone was like, the amount of lies that Kenya told, she has told, and she deceived herself, telling people that she can carry the show and not Nini. Like, how is she carrying the show,
Kenya
please?
can't carry anything. She can't even carry her hairline.
Oh,
Says G.
Please.
girl,
Like,
what the hell, Larry?
Oh god, that was bad. Oh, well, don't let
Ken,
Kenya
Ken,
hear you.
now Kenya and
Kenya,
Kandi,
go ahead,
it's
Kenya.
so bad that Kenya plus Kandi, they give us trash. And the
Mm.
fact, I don't know whether they are holding some kind of like receipts against the higher ups. Because if I was doing business, they would have been gone a long time ago. Or
Kenya, especially for me, anyway.
demoted to friends,
Hmm.
and they would have brought in fresher new people. Because I'm not going to delude myself to be like, they're going to bring the older people Portia definitely would not want to come on, except if you guys want to pay her that high. And I don't think they are so cheap that they do not want to do that. So bring newer people that are ready to work and demote Kenya Kandi. Remove Courtney, she's disgusting.
What
Demote
about
Monyetta, she's a friend. Then demote her to a friend. Like, just, I don't know whatever role that I see the word unfriend. Yeah, demote her to that.
Mm.
Keep
Oh
Marlo.
my.
As much as I hate her, keep her. Just
Keep her.
Mm.
Marlo.
Mm.
Because nobody can deny without her, this season would have been, it was a
To be
snooze
honest,
fest.
I don't even
It would
remember
have
what
been
she did
trash.
this season, if I'm being honest. Maybe I'm just
She
over
caused
Real House.
so much fight, but she added nothing.
Yeah. To be honest, do you know what? I think Real Housewives need to start following more of the individual cast members' lives and less, because it almost feels like this season all we kept seeing was their interaction as a group.
As a
And
group,
can we see
yes.
can we see more of their storyline as a cast member individually and then see some interactions with them as a group? Because it just feels like
Mhm.
seeing the group thing upon us without any sort of like it wasn't like there was, for instance, I can't think of anything about Candy's storyline that was compelling. I can't think of anything about Kenya's storyline that was compelling. I can't think of, oh god, no, Courtney, get out of here. I
Yeah.
can't think of like like the others. Like nothing was really compelling for me this season in terms of like individual storylines.
Yes. And it's this group thing that pisses me off. They even divided them. This is one group, this is the other group.
Mm.
It was just there, like the sitting arrangement was the group versus this group. That was how it was. And we don't literally what you said, recaps, like there's no individual story. I'm trying to remember now. The only individual story that I can really put to my head is Sanya's pregnancy story, which happened later on in the episode.
Mhm.
That
And
was five
we also,
minutes. It
yeah,
wasn't a
and that was how
storyline.
many minutes? That was it.
Right. Yeah. I
That
think I
that, that was.
yeah. Yeah, no.
But let's go down to the stuff. This Drew issue.
Mm.
My God. Firstly, let's talk about Drew and Malu. When Malu was like, when Malu said that your spouse called me and I told him don't worry, walk up on those things. Man, Drew's face. If Drew could stand up and beat up
Drew,
on
Drew
Malu,
would
Because it's
stab
the truth.
not playing. Drew looks
Please.
like catch me outside. Like
and I was telling you how veins were up.
She was mad
he was
because
Mm.
I think there's an atom of truth in what was said. Just saying.
In
I
what
think she was
sense?
actually mad that Ralph called her. As opposed to, I think she was mad that Marlo was having, or Ralph was having interactions with Marlo because Marlo is clearly not Drew's friend. And it's like
Mm-hmm.
another respect for you to call her to be talking about our marriage. And I think it's another
And
slap.
why is she entertaining the conversation?
Exactly. We go back to who Marlo is because you know that in your friend, you should have cut it out. But no. Oh, I think Marlo just likes drama.
At
But
the, at the end of the
don't
day,
don't
okay,
forget
you went to something.
Marlo said she
Mm.
seen 80% of her kissing. Did anybody else see the kissing? Anybody on the
Uh,
panel?
No,
I don't know.
I didn't.
I didn't. I didn't. But the thing is, recap. You said she was pissed that Ralph called someone that was not a friend. But really, let's ask. I want to ask this question: is anybody really Drew's friend on that cast? Because even Candy is not her friend. That's even what pissed me off.
Nobody Nobody
No, it doesn't seem like it.
close. Prior to like 2 weeks ago, I would have said Kandi was Drew's friend. But at this point, Kandi is more fame and money hungry that she's willing to throw her friends under the bus to make that money or to
Oh,
keep that fame or something, anyways. So it's very uncomfortable for you to have that conversation and you to not like it's like she I don't even know how to like you had a conversation with my ex-husband or soon to be ex talking about our marital woes, and then you come out and announce that, oh, I think they might work out together, I think we may do this. The reason why I think that Drew was mad was that it's quite obvious that they are still working on their relationship. Why are people deceiving themselves? Please. It was too obvious there. So she was pissed that at that point they were still trying to see if they could reconcile and everything. And then I too will be pissed because I do not know what's the future of this relationship. We're still trying to see where or which form or the relationship is going to take. For you to then come out and start announcing that, oh, I had a conversation with your husband and he said this, said that. I'm like, that's sort of like an invasion of privacy. And even if you had access to that privacy, why did you feel you needed to tell or recount the details of the conversation? You could have just said, yes, I had a conversation. I do not know what's going to happen. Like, stop giving unsolicited opinions or just, I hate when people tell the details of a conversation that you know that is supposed to be private, especially when you know you ought not to be having that particular conversation. It just irritates me.
yeah. No, I'm with you on that. Like, I think the whole time I just felt like, Marlo, this is something you should, even if he called you and you entered, like, maybe that's not something you should be saying on that platform. And even if you could have kept it vague, like, there was no reason for you to be like, oh, he called me and I think that, like, shut up. Stop acting like you have some sort of inside scoop that you're now giving to the rest of us.
Hmm.
So, yeah, no, I didn't
Yeah.
appreciate that.
And when it came to friendship, talking on the friendship stuff, Kandi and her had an argument, and it pissed me off that after the argument, she was still putting on like, "I want to check, are we good? Are we good?" And also going to Twitter, I saw her tweeting that, Kandi, we and you, we ought to still have a conversation about everything that has
I think
happened.
she's
I don't
doing that.
want this minute event that happened between us spoil our friendship. And Kandi was like, yeah, we'll have a talk about that. And I was like, oh, this is another segment of Kandi quoted. Speak on it.
I honestly think she's very naive. I feel like she feels like Candy is her friend. And the truth is, that is not your friend. I'm sorry. Like, anyone that does you that way is not your friend. It really isn't. That's just the reality. If you even think about what Candy said as to, oh, I didn't want to bring it up then because she was married. She's still married. If that's really the argument and that's what you're standing on, then what has changed? She's still married. Divorce is not finalized yet. So that argument does not really make sense. So it's like you did what you wanted to do, and that's okay. But I feel like Drew needs to wake up. None of those ladies are her friends. She needs to actually realize that. I think to her, she feels like it's not that deep. Okay, you said you saw us kiss. I said we didn't kiss. She probably thought that should be the end of it. But it's like, it's not the end of it,
Well,
you
did
know?
you see the way she kind of sided with Ralph? I was like, I'm sure you're the one
Oh,
that
that really pissed me off. I'm like,
yeah,
that is not your friend. This man, you saw
that
this
is
gaslight her on the previous seasons, and you sit down there and say something like that, something of that magnitude.
yeah.
I'm like, yeah, nah, nah, nah. You're nobody's friend.
Exactly. So that's what pissed me off when I went on on Twitter and I saw her saying, "Oh, we have to have a chat," and I was like, "Why would you have to have? Why would you have want to have a chat with someone
Drew
that
is
said that
Drew is
about
too,
you?"
Drew is too nice. I'm sorry. She needs to get a grip.
I
And
think
it
it's
doesn't.
more of the problem that she seeks validation
Mm.
too much because
Mm.
it's obvious she knows that what candidate was wrong, and she's the kind of person that can't survive if she doesn't have friends,
Do you think it's because
unfortunately.
she was comes across as being very sheltered when she was growing up? In my opinion, I'm very curious to know what growing up was like for her. But I do think she gives me the vibe of like very, very sheltered. Did not really, was like child actress, acting for such a long time. Aside that, did not really have many interactions with people on that level. And so any friend that she has, she's like hanging on for dear life.
But if you talk about she likes validation, she always goes at Marlo when Marlo says anything bad. She always goes
Uh-huh.
at any other person. So why is it different from Kandi? Why is the difference when Kandi does the
Because she
same thing
wants
that
she
Marlo
wants to be like Candy.
Well, didn't she say something about Candy had a lot of followers and
and
the
everybody is
followers
scared
get
of?
all in your
No,
your
but I think that's
DMs
her
and
repeating what Malu has said.
mm,
Because if you notice, I don't know if you guys, some episodes back, Malu kept saying that no one is like, no one is strong enough to stand up to Candy about the thing that happened in the restaurant, and that Drew was calling it, what was she calling it? An incident
incident.
instead
Yeah,
of the S word. And
right.
so I feel like she was just repeating what Marlo said in that moment. I don't think it was something that came from her directly, personally. And Cece, that makes sense. So Drew's sister said she's the baby and has always been sheltered. That completely makes sense because the kind of thing she does gives me that very sheltered. Did not really have a lot of like, friendships, relationships outside of family growing up, in my opinion.
Finally, let's talk about this Courtney and
Ooh,
Courtney
Oh,
and
this
Shereé.
annoying piece of trash. Jeez.
Courtney voice is like, oh, that
Like a
chalkboard,
bird
like,
that she
oh,
is.
oh, that grinding sound, like on the chalkboard, and it's just, I don't want to hear it.
She gives
Like,
the vibes that she wants to be in the Mean Girls Club, but
she
she's
does,
just irritating.
she is, and that
She
voice does
cannot
not
be a mean girl
help.
like Marlo and the rest. She doesn't do it well.
It's the voice that is ruining it for her. I have to
You
say,
said the voice that she did it.
I'm
And then what the
sorry,
hell?
that voice, I
Oh
can't take
my
it
God.
seriously, but
Oh
I
my
personally
God.
gathered her.
Yeah, I
I
loved
like
when Drew threw
gathered
that
her, and I've
threw the
never
peach
seen
at her, the
that.
plum.
Oh, forget that plum thing. That plum thing, I hated it. I'm like, Drew, what is that? Like,
That
but
was
I mean,
lame
like,
for Drew from Drew's side.
That's
I'm
more
just like
props.
the same thing, like the bones. Like, Drew, stop it. But aside that, when she actually started speaking to Courtney, I was like, yes, ma'am. Like, no, you're going to listen to me. I said, oh, ooh, ooh, not
Yeah,
this
she was like,
one.
You listen where at Oh, I was like,
I was
oh,
like,
okay.
Drew. I'm like, start giving the others this kind of heat, honey. Maybe you will have the peach for next year if you keep this up.
Yeah. If she has this energy for everybody that says trash about her, I don't think anybody will be undermining her and looking down on her the way they look down on her.
Did you notice everyone was shocked? Everyone kept doing the face like they were shocked that Drew went off. Like, it sounds like if anyone wants to get Drew there, they just need to talk about her kids because she went ballistic.
She went.
I watched it
She
back. I
did.
have to go back.
I mean, what mom
Erica
wouldn't
Mena
have?
should take some lessons.
Mm-hmm.
Not the jabs.
Unverified cousin. She couldn't even explain how she was the cousin. I'm like, the lies. Seriously.
Exactly. The father, my mother married the father. I'm like,
I'm like,
excuse
shut
me,
up. Like, do you know the definition of
excuse
cousin?
me. You don't know how you are related. Even when I'm talking about my very distant family members, I know how I'm related. I just know an easy route to be like, oh, my father's this girl married to Charles. I was like, okay. At the end of the day, I didn't still get the punchline of how she was related to Ralph.
Well, she
Yep.
said something about her dad's sister's married to Ralph's uncle.
Ugh.
So if it's her dad's sister, that's her aunt, right? So her aunt is married to Ralph's uncle.
Mm.
So was that a recent marriage or was it like 40, 30 years and they got kids? I mean,
And
like,
is this the truth?
this is
Because
true.
Drew's sister Allison had an interview with Mims, and she was basically saying that they went to go and like try to find out who she's related to, and they couldn't find anybody.
But, but at the end of the day, why? Like, how would your husband introduce someone to a cousin? And you know what? I like you say, Drew is very naive, and
Very.
sometimes I have to be
Yes.
given very, as in, I don't want to be insultive to her, but she did not try. If my husband of how many years introduced a cousin to me that I never met during her wedding period, during our dating period, all of a sudden I'm meeting this new cousin, it would ring alarms on my head, and I want to find out, okay, where exactly this cousin coming from?
100%, and that's what Allison said, right? Like, not in those words, but she was saying like when Drew brought her around and said, "Oh, this is Ralph's cousin," she was a bit like, "Huh?" and side eyeing, and then Drew practically was like, she trusts her husband. You know what I mean? That's his cousin, and that's the thing. I do
Wow.
feel like she is so trusting and naive. And like it's like, yo, the world really isn't like that. Like you need to wake up, sis. This man, you know, yeah, she's Sissy, you're right. Cedru is not sharp at all. Like she is just it's quite sad. And I think like I know people are dragging her a lot lately and stuff, but I actually feel like I think that's part why I give her a little bit of grace, because I'm like I can just tell that that woman is very sheltered and naive,
Mm.
but
Yeah,
she's gonna
30
she's
something.
going to learn, to be honest. Give her like
Yeah,
3
30 something, married, had a child. Please, there's a limit to how naive you can be.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. There's a limit to how your naiveness should be. You're married with a guy. I don't know. I'm trying to see reasoning to her, because if I am married to somebody for 4 years and all of a sudden you are introducing me to a cousin I never met during our wedding, during our process of dating, I certainly will want to have a look at this cousin. I don't care how much of a trust I have in you as a husband. I literally don't care
yeah.
how much of a trust I have in you as a husband. I would want to have a look at you. I feel like I said it in last week's review. I said Drew felt so comfortable with the arrangement she had in her marriage that every other thing that came, she just turned a blind eye to it, because she had that comfort. She loved the arrangement they had. So every other thing that was coming as a red flag, she just totally brushed it off until now it became unbearable. That's why everything is coming out now.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where I feel like she was obsessed with having a similar marriage to her parents, where they were married for, I believe, about 6 years or something. And, you know, Drew's sister was saying apparently, like, her mom would say, like, S happened in the marriage or whatnot. Like, these like, and they sort of were from the family of keep it in your family. You know, you don't speak on things about what's happening in your relationship or stuff publicly,
Yeah.
things like that, right? So I feel like she grew up with that mentality, right? And so I know, like, yes, we were like, oh, she's grown. But one thing about, like, you know, growing up in that way, being sheltered, that is your reality. Bear in mind, she didn't even go to college where she could have probably experienced life and grew up like a lot of people once you go out and experience the world for yourself. Instead, that was not her reality. So I think she will catch up. She's just a few years behind. Let's just put it that way.
Okay. Well, I do hope she catches up before it's too late for her with all those friendships and the rest.
I think if this season does not make her catch up, I don't know what will. Like, she needs to sit down and watch the season back. She will catch up real quick.
Well, I do hope she catches up.
Yeah, me
Oh,
too.
I think we've covered everything. Is there anything that happened? Well, I can't
No,
wait for next week's episode
me
to
too.
see what is going to really go down between her and Raph. Because watching
Me,
the trailer, I feel like I'm not gonna say there's love between the both of them. I feel like they are just too comfortable around themselves that they feel like let's just make this work.
yeah, I think Drew needs to air him out personally, because he's using all these people to air her out, right? But she's not airing him out. She's still protecting him. And I know that a lot of women do that when yes, they file for divorce or whatnot, but they don't want to leave their husband. They are secretly hoping that they're able to fix it. And they know that if they air this man out, they will not be able to go back to him. And I think that's what it is. I feel like she knows that if she airs out and says some of the things that he has done, everyone would look at her, what the hell are you doing there? And why do you even want this man back?
Yeah.
So until she gets to that point where she really comes to the point that, and she's like, F this, this is never I'm never, ever, ever going back to this man. I think that's when we'll get the truth about what really, really went down. But for now, I personally think she will still be protecting him, even at the period. So I don't have a lot of expectations for the next episode, if I'm being completely honest.
Mm. Wow.
Is there anything anybody wants to say to Randall? Because I think we've come to an end for this episode. Okay, I think everybody has said. Anyway, guys, thank you guys for joining us. Don't forget to subscribe to our individual YouTube channel. We have Shop Variety TV here. We have reviews and recaps. We have Mocha, and we also have Unfiltered Uzo. So remember to go to our individual YouTube channel to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also watch our videos and also like and comment on our channels. You know, it's very, very much appreciated. And we will see you guys same time next week for the final recap of the Real Housewives of Atlanta, the reunion. See you
Thank you,
guys
ladies.
next week.
Bye. Next
Bye.
week.
Anytime.
Bye bye.
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 Bye. Bye.